This is Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review with your college basketball play of the day for Tuesday, January 31st. Oh, we've got a revenge situation, a very juicy one to look at with today's play of the day on the Tuesday card. We're going to the Big East. We're looking at the Creighton Blue Jays taking on the Butler Bulldogs at Hinkle Fieldhouse. Should be a great matchup between these two teams. For the Butler Bulldogs, let's be honest, a little bit of a misstep for them in their last game, more than a little misstep, a big one against the Georgetown Hoyas. 8.5-point home favorites. Butler losing that game in outright fashion, 85-81. Just played horrible defense in that game, did Butler. Not what you're usually used to seeing from a team that gives up 43% shooting, 31% from three-point range, 67 points per game. Well, they gave up 85 to Georgetown, and Georgetown shooting the lights out, which is very atypical of them. We've seen Georgetown have some miserable offensive performances this season, and they shot 30 of 47 from the field against this Butler team. Butler didn't play well. There's no doubt about that. It was not Butler's best game whatsoever, not even close. One of their worst games of the season. Georgetown was ready to go for that game. They outboarded Butler 21-18, winning the battle on the glass. That was definitely a concern. Butler actually shot the ball well, 54%, but the problem is, Georgetown was just lights out. 63%, 10 of 20, 50% from three-point range for Georgetown as well. It was just one of those nights where, everything was going in the basket for Georgetown. Yeah, Butler didn't play defense to the level they're capable of, but when you see these kind of outlier shooting nights that Georgetown had in this game, some of that is, just an outlier. Just a team that is not used to shooting that way, just suddenly having one of those nights where the ball's falling through the hoop. That's what happened here with this Georgetown team in that victory over Butler. I don't think it's a warning sign whatsoever for Butler or something to be concerned about. Still a very good basketball team, 18-4 straight up on the season. Still a 7-3 conference record in the Big East. It's a team that as a lot of good players in their starting rotation. Keelan Martin, of course, Kamar Baldwin, Tyler Lewis, Tyler Weidman, Krabach, all of these guys able to score the basketball and play some solid defense. And from a rebounding perspective, this team usually can hold their own as well. So I would expect Butler to have a much definitely a focused Butler team coming into this game off that loss at home to Georgetown. Double focus, I think, because you got the loss to Georgetown that you just had on Saturday at home, where you've been very good, and you're looking to avenge a 75-64 loss to this Creighton Blue Jays team earlier this month. But this is a much, much different Creighton Blue Jays team than that one. That is for sure. Creighton, of course, we know the Maurice Watson Jr. injury. We've talked about it ad nauseum. I've talked about it. Many of our experts in college basketball within Sportsbook Review have talked about that injury and how significant it is. I was actually holding out hope Creighton could be able to survive that injury and still be able to be a decent team, but I've not been impressed by the results. Terrible showing against Marquette at home. They lose 102-94, don't play a lick of defense, and that's also where this team has suffered without Watson. Not only the scoring and the dishing of the basketball that he brings, it's the defense. I think they're also a worse defensive team without him. And then they get blown out at Georgetown, 71-51. I know they bounced back on the weekend, got their first win without Watson, 83-66 over DePaul. But let's get serious here. All right, you could put me, we have our college basketball roundtable on Tuesday. You could put me, Jeff Nadu, BMOC, Drew Martin, Donnie right side, Ed Fang, all the guys in that roundtable. You could put all five of us in this on the basketball court. And we'd be able to score some points, get some stops, and maybe even win a game against DePaul right now. Okay, let's calm down here. Let's not overreact to the way Creighton played in that basketball game. They basically beat a team that they should have. With or without their best player. That was a win they should have had against DePaul. They got it, 83-66. This is the proving ground, I think, for Creighton. You want to show that you can win, you can compete, you can still make a good season out of this for your team without Maurice Watson Jr. Go into Hinkle Fieldhouse and give this Butler team a battle. Give a Butler team that I am sure is going to be fully focused, fully ready to go for this game after losing to Georgetown at home, after already losing to Creighton earlier this season. If Creighton goes into Butler here and plays a good game, competitive game, then I'm going to be a little impressed. Beating DePaul in a blowout fashion at home, that's not impressive. That's not enough to get me impressed. This would get me impressed. I do think Creighton, though, is up against it here tonight. I think they're walking into a buzzsaw. I think Butler is going to have their full focus. And look at the free throw numbers. Creighton, for as good an offensive team as they are, they're 69% from the free throw line. Butler 73%. So an edge at the free throw line could matter if this number is dangling, or if the score is dangling around the point spread in the latter stages. I think Butler, and let's not forget, before that Georgetown game, Butler was really defending their home court well. 5-0 straight up, 5-0 against the spread at home in 5 games prior to that home loss to Georgetown. And they beat some good teams during that stretch. They beat Cincinnati at home by 10 on this floor. They beat Providence by 17 on this floor. They beat Villanova, defending national champions, by 8 points on this floor. They beat Xavier on this floor by 5. They beat Marquette on this floor by 5 and covered the number in all of those home victories. I think they get the victory here by enough of a margin as well to cover another number for this Butler team at home. So let's go ahead and make it official. Let's go with the Butler Bulldogs minus 6.5, rotation number 718. Butler. The Butler's going to do it. Minus 6.5. They're going to get their revenge against Creighton, and they're going to cash a ticket and win by 7 or more points in this home favorite price range. Let's go with Butler minus the 6.5. Your play of the day in college basketball for Tuesday, January 31st. All right, that'll wrap it up. I'm Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review. Until next time, enjoy the games and good luck.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SPR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.